Well, SRSRocco back with another report from the SRSRocco report, of course, although Silver Doctors is covering this one. He says, place your bets. SRSRocco warns stocks, bonds, and real estate all headed for a financial enema. More than half of the world's future silver production is at risk when base metals prices take a big hit during the next economic crash. While there is no guarantee what the value of gold and silver will be in the future, logic suggests investors holding on to most stocks, bonds, and real estate will suffer the financial enema of their life. So place your bets and let's see who made the better investment decision when the global market finally cracks. The Peru Ministry of Energy and Mining just released their silver production data for February, and it was a whopper to the downside. Actually, I was quite surprised to see how much Peru's silver production declined versus the same month last year. Also, Peru's gold February production took a similar big hit. According to the Peru Ministry of Energy and Mining data, the country's silver production fell 12% to 323.1 metric tons this February versus 367 metric tons, up 0.4, same time last year. This is a 44 metric ton decline in 1 month. Nearly 1.5 million ounces lost. And he shows a table about it, which don't really need to show it. Silver is shown as plata. Now, it's funny because I was watching a little show series that was on for a little while. What the hell was it called? Was it Incan Gold or Incan? No, it was called something else. But it was about them going to South America. And the Jesuits were there long ago. And they set up shop and, of course, set up their Catholic churches and everything. And had the local slave population basically taking all their wealth and casting silver and gold bars, shipping it back home, of course. There was a massive revolution when the slaves decided, what the hell are we doing letting these outsiders come into our country, take over our stuff, and then we're like the ones working hard while they sit around? Oh, but they're part of a church, so that's okay. No, actually, they revolted. Massive revolution took place. This was hundreds of years ago. South America. And in the show, they wanted to go there and find, this. They said, well, a lot of this gold and silver and stuff that was taken from these people, essentially, a lot of it seems to be left behind or hidden or buried or whatever. They want to go find it. The show kind of ends where one of the people on their team is a woman who dives down like by this waterfall. And this waterfall, there's all these like giant holes, like it's all like a rock structure, even though there's a waterfall there, and it's like big holes. And I want to say she free dove like without even a tank. She's just like poking around. She sees like this little shiny object. You see it on the camera, and then she pulls up like this golden, ornament of some kind. And it kind of ended the show that way. Okay, and I haven't seen it talk about it coming back on, but it was, I always love watching gold or silver shows or anything with like that. I just love it. But on the show, they went to some underground, not underground per se, but like black market, thing. We want to buy, do you have any silver? There's not. And they plata, yeah, plata, come. Got some plata. And they pulled out this one bar that to me looked legitimate, completely legitimate. And he wanted like $10,000 for it. It was like a 100-ounce bar. And I'm thinking, current price of that's about, $1,800, $1,900 now. Last year, or 2 years ago, whenever this freaking show was on, whatever, let's just call it $20, $2,000. And I'm thinking, but what is the historical value? That thing could be worth multiple tens of thousands. But they didn't seem to care, want it, or buy it. So it does show that some of the people have gotten some stuff over the years. And they're like, well, we just want to know where you found this at. Can you show us where you found it? Of course. So anyways, plata, silver. Silver is shown as plata. As we can see, overall silver production for January to February has declined 6.7% compared to the same period last year, which means Peru's silver production took a much larger hit in February than in January. Furthermore, Peru's gold production, shown as oro, also declined significantly by falling 11.3% in February. The Peru Ministry of Energy and Mining put out this brief explanation why their silver and gold production declined in February. However, in this month, precious metals slightly suffered a lower production volume. Gold decreased by 11.91%, while silver 11.29%. In the accumulated January, notional production of these precious metals decreased 6.81% for gold and 6.3% for silver. In the national production of silver, the Lima region, Ancash, and Junin regions are in the top positions associated with the polymetallic exploitation of the center of the country. Peru is the second largest silver producer in the world and boasts the largest proven and probable reserves of this precious metal in the world. And Antamina in the Ancash region, followed by Uchucua in Lima and Inmaculada. If you like Inmaculada, no, sorry about that, in Ayacucho, among several others. In the case of gold, the national production accumulated to February 2017 reached 23.8 tons fine. Its production was concentrated in the regions of La Libertad, 6.4 tons, contributing to total production in 26.92%. Cajamarca, cooperating with 3.32%, 5.5 tons fine. And whatever. The decrease is explained by the lower results, 23.53% of the main producer, Minera Yanacocha SRL, whose operations in Cajamarca have been affected by an exhaustion of the reserves in the current deposits in operation. That's the big story here. The good stuff is gone. I don't know why the Peru Ministry of Energy and Mining's data for gold and silver production declines are different in their explanation than what they show in the Excel spreadsheets. However, it is only off by a small percentage. Regardless, the important part of the text above is highlighted in red. The reason for the big decline of Peru's gold production was due to an exhaustion of reserves in the current deposits of operation. This is a key factor that will be played out across the world as other mines lose production due to the same situation of reserve exhaustion. So he's suggesting, again, this is a key factor that will be played out across the world as the mines, all of them, most of them, some of them, whatever it ends up being, lose production due to the same situation, reserve exhaustion. So what happens? We keep seeing the amount needed every year is more than the amount being produced. We keep seeing that over and over again. And yes, there's been reserves of some amount somewhere, but for how long? And what happens when they start to run out? I'm going to wish the COMEX and LBMA lots of luck, pushing their paper as far as they want to push it. When there's a physical shortage, that'll be the day when the whole world stops and says, wait a minute, how in the living hell can the price be, $32 today for an ounce of silver, and you can't even get any? In the back order, they don't even know. They're all the metals dealers are refunding us money because they don't know. And not only that, they're going to refund the money because they don't want to hold your order at $32 when the stuff comes in, because the price to them, they already know is going to be way higher. So the precious metals dealers, which do reserve the right to do that, will be giving your money back. And then saying, when we get it, some coming in, or when we at least have a ship date to us, we'll send you an email, we'll let you know. Then you can place an order. No, I want to place one now at $32. That's how that's going to go when there's a panic to own this stuff. And there's going to be a panic to own it. We must remember Peru is the second largest silver producer in the world, right behind Mexico. According to the Silver Institute's 2016 interim report, Mexico's silver production is estimated to decline to 183 million ounces in 2016, in which there was 189 million ounces in 2015, which I know it's only a few million, 6 million, whatever, ounces, while Peru's silver production increased 141 million ounces in 2016 from 136 million ounces in 2015. However, you just saw the new numbers for 2017 that are starting. Global future silver production is at risk. As the global markets finally succumb to the massive amount of debt, economic activity is going to plummet. This will have a negative impact on most energy, metals, and commodity prices. Thus, production of base metals will decline significantly. This will impact the production of silver the most, as the majority comes as a byproduct of zinc, lead, and copper production. According to the World Silver Survey, 34% of silver production came as a byproduct of zinc and lead mine supply, while 22% came as a byproduct of copper production. Thus, 56% of global silver production is a result of them mining copper, zinc, and lead, which means more than half of the world's future silver production is at risk when base metals prices take a big hit during the next economic crash. People need to realize that using a massive amount of leveraged debt to continue economic activity is not only unwise, it is seriously insane. While there is no guarantee what the value of gold and silver will be in the future, logic suggests investors holding onto most stocks, bonds, and real estate will suffer the financial enema of their life. Again, this is all due to the disintegrating U.S. and global oil industry in the future. So place your bets and let's see who made the better investment decision when the global market finally cracks. Interesting point of view. World's second largest miner, February numbers, horrible compared to last year. And what happens when the world's largest miner, Mexico, what happens when they start having issues too? Even if they don't, other miners across the planet, it doesn't mean everybody has to have issues. It only takes a few mines that produce any decent quantity to start this process of, ticking time bomb, so to speak. So what do you think the price is going to ultimately go to? You think it's just going to hover around $18 and the COMEX and LBMA, they'll just keep rigging like they always have. And then there's a shortage. The price is still $18 today. They slammed it again, $18 silver. There's no way it will stay that way. There's no chance. Again, November 2014, CME Group added the circuit breaker rule for gold and silver specifically, so that if they rise too fast in a short amount of time, circuit breakers are triggered. Why did they do that when the freaking COMEXs have been around for 30 plus years, whatever? Why did they do that? First time they ever had to do that. Interesting timing, to make sure they get these rules in place just a little bit in advance. So if you had a 35, 40-year window of time, and towards the end of that time period, you saw a nice, interesting rule change that told you, if the prices rise too fast, these circuit breakers will trigger. But they'll also trigger if the prices fall too fast. Which means for the last 30-something years, they didn't care about the prices anyways, one way or the other. And as we can see over the last 30 years, they've controlled it. So this would only apply if they want to slow down the crashing price of silver. But they don't want to, because they want to clean everybody out and teach you to get away from silver. Don't play those paper contracts. That's for us. You stay away. We taught you a lesson. You just lost. But now they have the rules in place. Why? Because they know, just like JP Morgan does with its massive accumulation of physical silver every month, it is scooping in tons and tons of silver. Why? Why is JP Morgan the only giant bank doing this? They know too. When the time is up and they got to let it go up, they know it's going to go up. You want to hold as much as you possibly can, correct? So that you can ride that horse to the top. So as I said, you're going to thank JP Morgan one day. You're going to say a prayer. Instead of praying to God over your dinner one day, you're going to pray to JP Morgan. Dear JP Morgan, I want to thank you for this food. We bless this food in your name because you kept silver prices down so low. I was able to buy a ton of silver, and now I sold it all for unbelievable record profits. I have a brand new house paid in cash. We're eating like kings and queens. So I want to thank you for this dinner tonight. And when that day comes, JSnip4 will be filming live his dinner prayer to JP Morgan, thanking him for keeping the prices down for so long. Even though it's aggravating the living crap out of me, I'm ready for it to go up. Take care.